back to another episode with Fight Pass with Mitch, presented by Notorious Pulls Radio. For this episode, we're going to be going over UFC Fight Night, Merab versus Yan in Las Vegas. We're here with Fight Hop Podcast to break down March 11th main event. We have 3.7 million Georgians waiting for this victory. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can follow us via Instagram. Guys, tell me, how important is this fight March 11th with Merab versus Petr Yan? As you know, you guys definitely know that he's on an 8-fight winning streak. He's been an absolute superstar in the Bantamweight division, and his training partner is Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, first of all, nice to be here doing a collab with you, Mitchell. I would just like to say that, for Georgia, this fight is everything. Obviously, being a main event, we getting to the pinnacle, at the pinnacle of the game. Merab being the first ever Georgian bantamweight in the UFC, and the road he has crossed to get to where he is. I mean, it's not been easy, and obviously his opponent being who he is, I mean, it's absolutely everything. And I said this before, Romy can attest to it. For us, I mean, for me, this is bigger than any title fight. And I said that I'd rather we get this W than we get a W against the champion. But remember, that is our boy as well, Aljamain Sterling. So
tell me,
yeah,
is this fight really of significance because it's a Georgian fighter versus a Russian fighter? Is this why you feel like it's bigger than a title fight would be, this W?
Romy, you want to take it?
Sure. First of all, hello everybody. This is nice, this collaboration. I'm glad we're here, we're doing this. So as far as the title should know, nah, not for me. I mean, listen, I don't want to give this thing, whatever this is, and we all know what it is, but I don't want to give it more importance and more significance than it has to have. Yeah, sure, it's, beating a Russian fighter, especially now in this political climate, it would be awesome, and it would be fucking tremendous for everybody in Georgia, and it would give people a lot of inspiration, not only in Georgia but in a few other countries that I could name too. But listen, we got to stay away from the politics too at the same time as much as we can, and especially if you're asking me like this fight or the title shot, fuck man, it's title shot, of course, every day. That's, I mean, if we're gonna put Russia above everybody else, then they're gonna be up there on the pedestal. But if we gotta move on, right? And UFC belt or Bellator belt or whatever other top organization belt is more important than beating a Russian guy just because he's Russian, even though he's Petr Yan or whoever it's gonna be. It doesn't matter. It's always title shot first, and yeah, that's what I think. I don't know if you agree, George, but that's my that's what I think. Yeah.
Well, at the moment, I disagree because the champion is Aljamain Sterling, who Merab will not be fighting. So there was a bit
But
of
I'm saying in general.
humor in it. But yeah, sure. The aim of the game is to get that belt. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys feel that this will be Merab's toughest fight to date? Even though Petr Yan is going on a 2-fight losing streak currently, he lost to Sean O'Malley and he lost to the champ Aljamain 2 times.
That's a good right.
This is Merab's first 5-round fight. He's a machine. There's no doubt about.
I'm the machine!
That he's a cardio machine, that I know he can go 10 rounds.
I'm the machine!
Anyway, yeah, Merab, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, 10 rounds. But is this his toughest challenge to date?
I mean, hard to say. I'd say that, especially after talking to Matt as well, Matt Serra and Ray Longo, technically they've been saying that Jose Aldo is the worst guy for Merab, which he passed that test already. But
yeah,
Petr Yan is in his prime, and we also saw what he did to Jose Aldo. But Romy here, he's been training with the guys at Longo, and technically, I mean, no better person to talk about stylistics then with Romy. So
That was
go ahead,
a
Romy.
long time ago. That was pre-pandemic that I trained there, and I trained with Merab a little bit. We sparred, light sparring, nothing crazy. We grappled full blast. I've never trained with Aljo like one on one. I've trained with Aljo, but not like with him. Never sparred him or nothing. But as far as I mean, if I had to say, listen, prime Aldo would definitely be the biggest test Merab could have passed up until now. And when you say like what Yan did to Aldo, he didn't really do anything to him. Aldo was kicking his ass in the beginning, then he gassed out, which Aldo, even in his prime, he used to gas out. He would gas out in every fight. He would always lose the last 2 rounds. Sometimes one round, sometimes last 2 rounds. He used to lose a lot of rounds when he was in his prime. So he gassed out at 135, deflated. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he lost to Petr Yan. Petr Yan is a tough guy. But technically, if we're gonna break this down bit by bit, right? As much as you can, break a fight like this down pre-fight, because post-fight is always easier to break the fight down. Whatever already happened, you're looking at it, you're reading it like an open book. But pre-fight, the fight is a fucking different beast. It's not like any other sport, so it's very hard to break down. It's not easy. But if we had to do it, I'd say that Jose's takedown defense is miles ahead from what I've seen so far. I think it's way better than Petr Yan's. I'm not saying Petr Yan has a bad takedown defense. His takedown defense, I think it's tremendous. It's really good. But Jose Aldo, you got to remember, this guy was made of rubber. This guy, nobody could land a freaking takedown on this guy for years, man. Prime Chad Mendes fought him twice. He couldn't fucking get to his hips even. He would get to his hips and Jose would just dig in with the underhooks and just pull him right back up. He got taken down. He would jump right back up. He would bounce off his hips right away. So Jose's takedown defense is no joke. Probably the best I've ever seen in MMA. So yeah, I think in that regard of takedowns and whatnot, yeah, I think he will have an easier time taking Petr Yan down than he Jose Aldo. I'm sure of that. So, but if you want to like expand on the rest of the fight, then I think the key for Merab is to just shoot like a fucking shot out of cannon right away from round one, and that should be the key to the victory for him in this fight. Yeah, I don't think this fight goes 5 rounds. Maybe it won't even.
You're saying Merab. I think Merab has a chance to knock him out also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think he carries a lot of power.
Yep.
And, Petr Yan's going to expect to wrestle.
Yeah.
Because he keeps that really, really high guard, which keeps his waist wide open because he protects his head really well like a boxer. But that makes him really vulnerable to like high level grapplers.
Plus, I think if there was any time for Merab to level change a lot and keep his opponent guessing whether he's gonna shoot or he's gonna strike, this is the perfect fight for that. This is one time where he needs to keep level changing on this guy. Petr Yan should be like, is he gonna shoot? Is he gonna punch? What is he gonna do? So he needs to level change, I think. In my humble opinion, he needs to level change constantly.
I agree.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, yeah.
I agree about the level changing. I wanted to ask you, how did you guys get into MMA? And what inspired you guys to become the first Georgian MMA podcast?
Okay, so actually we know each other through Merab, and we were doing like a little podcast together. But
we did
at that
once.
time, at that time, Merab was kind of busy. He still is, So then me and Romy, we got in touch, and we decided that, we should keep it constant. And because like we've been watching, Romy's been watching it, I don't know for how long, like maybe 15, 20 years, something like that.
It's like 18 years.
And basically I haven't missed a card like for 6 years, man. And there's not a lot of content out there. So we just we decided to keep it going weekly. And here we are. Plus Romy, he's he's training. He's actually gonna have a fight again this year. His second. It's gonna be your second pro fight, right? Your second amateur
no,
fight. Second amateur fight.
second official fight. I have,
All right.
and then I have few other the ones that I did in the gyms, but yeah, officially just one fight so far. But yeah, I came up in the era when MMA was very illegal in New York. You couldn't even fight here, so we used to do the gym stuff. But then I walked away. I got into martial arts when I was like 8 years old. I started like competing right away in kickboxing. And then when I came here, I was like 16 years old. I couldn't fight. They wouldn't let me fight because I was without parents. I was by myself. I didn't have any gun. I didn't have guardians. So I decided to wrestle instead. And then through that, I found UFC. I found the Tough Season 1, and then I started training MMA. But then I went back home, and there was no MMA back home at that time. So I came back in 2010, and I started training again. And then in 2012, 13, I took a couple of smoker fights in the gym. But immigrant life is not easy, so I had like 2, 3 jobs at the time. I had to work. I had to hustle a lot. So I missed out on a lot of time in my 20s when I was in my physical prime. I missed out on a lot of time to train. But then in my 30s, I found time somehow and inspiration again to get back to the gym and quit smoking, quit abusing my body, quit drinking, quit doing drugs, everything. And right now I feel like I'm getting back to a really, really optimal shape. And honestly, if I fight this summer, I feel bad for whoever I fight because he's not gonna have a good night.
Actually,
That's just.
let's reverse this question to Mitchell. How about yourself? Like, what got
What
you?
about you? Yeah. What about
Yeah,
you?
what got you into it?
For me, I used to love to kickbox as a kid. And I've been watching boxing, with my dad, and I always loved combat sports in general, all across. I love watching UFC. I got into it as soon as I realized Spike TV aired the first season of Tough, and some of my biggest inspirations were Chuck Liddell, Rampage Jackson. I used
Yeah.
to watch some Pride, Strike Force. Like I
Yeah.
followed.
Yeah. Strike Force was unbelievable. Nick Diaz era was fucking Josh Thompson, Luke Rockhold, DC. Even I mean, they had so many good guys, man. It was good times.
Yeah, so the sport has, it's been evolving, and I also felt that there's not enough people like really talking about it, and I'm really passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30. What drives me crazy is the fucking people who like just. I mean, it's nice that a lot of people are getting into MMA, and it's good to see. Like I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings from where I used to live, from fucking Brighton Beach to Buffalo Wild Wings, just to watch the fight. But I couldn't even find anybody. Everybody in the gym would be busy with something, and then everybody else, they just didn't give a shit about MMA. And now I can't get them to fucking shut up. Everybody wants to talk to me about MMA now. I'm like, dude, just leave me the fuck alone. Like, go
That's a
do
good
whatever.
thing, man. That's a
Yeah, I
good thing.
guess. But the
Yeah, it
thing is,
became.
that's a good thing, definitely. But the thing is now, these guys still, they don't really know the history of the sport. They just see Conor McGregor and they see John Jones, and that's all they want to know. But yeah, but
No,
it's nice, still nice.
it's good. So like all my friends and even like, our crowd, they watch it on Saturdays, like it's a thing. Like every Saturday night, someone does something, we watch MMA. So it's good. It kind of brings like our families together.
Yeah,
So
for
it's just
sure.
something like we all enjoy. And they joke
Yeah,
around with me. And like you said, they always like ask different questions because I know their gyms. I
yeah,
know their coaches. Like you said, I follow it much deeper. I know how they move around different camps and the regions where they train from.
mm.
And I
Do
follow.
you train? Do you compete anywhere? Have you
No,
competed?
I don't compete. I just stay physically fit. I exercise,
Uh-huh.
all the time and just stay ready. I just,
Yeah.
I'll hit the bag a little bit, but I was training a little bit earlier and I do want to find time to train because I do enjoy it.
What do you usually go to train?
So I was doing some private classes in a gym on like X and Coney Island. They were doing like at night. It was like about 4 students, so the trainer can give you a little bit more time versus like a big group.
Yeah.
But I would also go back to Borden's gym, Avenue Z and East 21st. That's where I got
Borden's
my
gym.
first passion. It's a Muay Thai K1 boxing they do
Gotcha.
over there. But it's just
Yeah.
a nice, good environment, and it's just a
Yeah.
very good workout. Even though I don't want to like compete professionally or amateur, just for the workout, some good sparring, shake
Yeah.
hands. I just didn't.
Listen, martial arts is about doing it yourself, doing it your way. That's what it's all about. So whatever makes you happy, man, that's what you got to stick to. So I'm happy you found whatever you want to do and the way you want to do it. So yeah, kudos.
For real. And Mitchell, how we discovered you is when you did a video about Georgian fighters, right? And you do a lot of coverage on like not just Georgia, but some of the lesser known regions, you know, like I think you did Kazakhstan as well. Was it Kazakhstan?
did Azerbaijan.
Sorry, Azerbaijan. Shout out there,
Yeah.
neighbors. You know, we share a border. All
Yeah.
of that region, and
We don't share a
so,
border with Kazakhstan. What are you
no,
talking
with
about?
Azerbaijan, my friend,
Oh, okay.
Azerbaijan. Okay, so
You've been
listen.
you've been in China for too fucking
Let me
long. You gotta
finish
come
what I'm
back.
saying, man. Me and
Get
you,
the
we
fuck
can
out
get
of
it
there.
on the Fight Hub
Get the
podcast,
fuck
man.
out of there now.
Shut the front door, man. Shut the front door. Listen. So, what I wanted to ask you is like, when did you start to like notice like the Georgian fighters, as we call it? Yeah.
So for me, I have a lot of friends who are Georgian and are from Azerbaijan and from Armenia because like I'm in a very like multicultural because I grew up in South Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I'm friends with Nazim, who's the second Azerbaijani UFC fighter.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
I'm gonna see him
Nas.
today.
Yeah.
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
see him
see
at the fights
With a
today.
congrats with a big win for Nas and a bonus. Yeah, he just got like
exactly,
a week ago.
exactly. It's a very beautiful.
Yeah.
We're very happy. He's doing amazing. You know, and obviously
Awesome.
it's one camp. Merab, Nas, they're all Cerro Longo fight team. So it's
Yeah.
very happy for Long Island. You
New
know,
York family, man.
exactly.
How about your heritage?
So I'm American, but my mom is from Belarus and my dad is from Latvia. But they
Okay,
migrate.
so you got a Slavic heritage, right?
Yes. So they migrated like in the 80s, but they're pretty, they've been here for a long time in the US. But I'm able to, speak Russian and English. And
Oh, that's awesome.
because I also live in a very like Russian, Ukrainian
Yeah.
community.
How's Bensonhurst? Is it getting Russian too? Like Russian speaking?
No, here mostly Chinese speaking.
Yeah, I know.
你好吗？怎
You're
么回
going
事儿
very
啊？
pop.
No,
是
so
不
Yeah,
套
yeah,
不
there
不
you
套
go.
皮
so
吗？
if you come from
Jesus Christ.
China
This is
to
embarrassing. I'm
Bensonhurst,
sorry, man. I didn't know. This wasn't planned.
哎，你闭嘴啊！别伤
Yeah,
心
yeah.
啊！By the way, there's a
你好。
Chinese on the card tomorrow against the Irish kid, Song Kanan. But I guess this will be released after the pay-per-view, right? So there's not much point talking
No,
about it. But yeah, it would have
no.
been good to touch on this big card.
We
Yeah,
don't break down Chinese fighters here.
dude, I don't know what accent that was, but it was not Chinese, man.
I know it was. It was fucking horrible. I know.
Hey, man, don't be dissing China over here, man.
I know. I love China.
I love you too. I
I
love
wanna
you.
ask
Too.
you guys,
I love chicken and rice.
All right.
I want to ask you guys, and this is for both of you. Who is your favorite Georgian MMA fighter? And what I want to know, who's the next biggest Georgian MMA fighter to watch out for? And he could, wherever he is,
Wow, that's a good question, man. And Romy, if you want, you go first. If not, I'm fine to go with it.
I'll go first if
All right, go ahead.
well, my favorite Georgian MMA fighter would be, and he's also one of my dearest and closest friends. And he fights in Bellator. He's top 10. And his name is Levan Chokheli. He's a fucking beast. He's very young, and he's gonna make a lot of noise soon. Ever since entering, he came to Bellator. He was undefeated, 10-0, 9 knockouts, and they gave him Kyle Crutchmer right away. Kyle Crutchmer is like a Division 1 wrestler. Nobody wants to fight that fucking guy. He was 23 years old. He fought Crutchmer, you know, It was a
First
little bit.
fight.
It was a little bit. I don't want to say nothing, but it was what it was. But the guy has been growing ever since, and his last fight he won. He beat the guy, undefeated guy, 8-0, 8 knockouts, and now we're waiting for his next fight, which should be happening soon, hopefully. And I mean, either way you shake it, he's my favorite fighter from Georgia, and he's the next big thing from Georgia. Because everybody else, he already should be next big thing, because he's not anything. In my opinion, all the guys who are in the UFC, the Georgian guys, everybody already knows him because UFC has the notoriety, and you can't go bigger than that. But as far as pure fighting, Bellator is just as good as UFC. It's just they don't have the marketing machine. And the guys who fight, they're just as much savages as the UFC guys. I know because I'm there all the time. I know all these fucking Bellator guys. I see them. I see. Well, it's the same thing. It's just the name difference. This is Bellator. This is UFC. That's it. So yeah, I think that this guy, my boy, is gonna make some splashes in the nearest future. He's young. He's evolving. His fucking striking is just beautiful to watch. And I've seen him just beat the shit out of pro boxers in the gym. I have it on the phone. Just fucking terrifying force. He just needs to get his game together, and he's gonna be a fucking problem for anybody in Bellator or UFC. Mark my words. And as far as the guys who we already have in the UFC, my favorite is Guram Kutateladze. I think out of all the UFC guys, Guram is the most complete, like finished product. And I can't wait. It's just such a shame that he doesn't get to fight often, and I want to see him a lot more than I want to see him active. So shout out to Guram.
Sure. Yeah. Injuries been holding him back again. I heard that he had a
This is
slight injury.
George. This. You know what? This
injury.
is the best show we've ever done, George, because we get to do this. We get to do MMA show in English, which is so much easier because of the fucking. There's so many words that they're lacking from Georgian
Yeah.
language. You need to use for MMA terminology, and now we get
because
to
of
do
the
this.
because of the terminology, it's all in English, and we every time we
Don't
talking
you
in Georgian,
fucking
we want to
don't you
switch.
fucking terminology me. Just answer the question, okay?
So okay, honestly speaking, I support every fighter equally. I don't have like more love.
Listen. This is what he does.
Dude, that you gonna
Makes me
let me
look like
talk?
an east.
Yo,
No,
Mitchell,
because
hit that mute button on this. Listen, it's hard to say who's my favorite. I support everyone equally, and that's the truth,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about which style I like the best to watch from a fighter, I would agree with Romy. I love the Guram style, right? I love obviously, I mean, I know it's MMA, and I love to see a variety, right? But man, as a kid, I've always been a huge karate fan, and I love to see that in MMA. So I would say, like, stylistically, I love watching guys like Guram or even Giga as well. I love to see that. But you can't leave out anyone, man. I mean, Ilya has been murdering everyone, and but at the same time, man, what I love
great
about
answer.
Roman Dolidze, yeah, he's rage, man. The dude Roman Dolidze, when he just flips and he's got that rage, that knockout power, plus he's got that, the skill, the in BJJ. But Merab as well. Without Merab, I don't think we'd be here right now. So like
Dude,
I said, man, I can't choose.
This is
I can't
not a
choose. I love
political
all of
show.
them.
You're being a politician right now. You're just fucking kissing
Vote
everybody's
for
ass. Who's
George.
your favorite? Just pick one.
Vote for George.
Jesus Christ.
Well, for
All right, thank you, Mr. President. You can go now.
All right, I'm
What the
gonna give you
fuck?
guys at least my favorite Georgian fighter.
Go
and I'll
ahead.
tell you why.
Please do.
So I watch all of them, Guram, all the guys you mentioned. But to me, like he said, like Tapuria, from everything that I'm watching, his wrestling, world class. Grappling transitions.
Yeah.
His ring IQ is incredible. The man's boxing is so crisp. Like he almost mimics pro boxing swings.
Yeah.
Like he throws very clean. He's a very exciting fighter. You know, you can trust him to take, like, I'm not worried for him getting like much more serious competition. And I kind of agree with Roman Dolidze. They also, their ring IQ it's unbelievable from what I've seen in their
I
past.
just the reason I didn't say Ilya is because I think Guram is more. He's already like complete. Ilya is still growing. He's gonna change a lot. He's gonna grow. There's gonna be a lot of involvement, and he
Imagine
still
that.
needs to. He still needs to polish up certain things. Guram, Guram, honestly, if you guys want me to, I can't lie. I gotta be honest. Whether you want me or not, the only time I'm not worried when the Georgian fighter is fighting, even Levan, when Levan is fighting, my heart is fucking, pumping like crazy. When Guram is fighting, when I watch his fights, nah, I'm not worried. I know he knows what he's doing over there because he's been doing this for how long. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm saying he's the finished product. He's a complete fighter that you can depend on, and he's not gonna fuck up. That's how I see him. You know what I mean? He's not gonna make any mistakes. He's gonna make less mistakes than the guys who are more talented than him. That's what I mean.
So you believe Guram can easily go for like the top, anyone in the top 5?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but he just needs a little bit of luck on his side, because that guy that he fought last time, he's Demir and Guram. Listen,
He's
guys,
Magulov, yeah.
at 155, the top 5 guys are old and they have miles on them. If the thing is, the reason they don't go down in rankings anymore is because they don't fight anybody below them. They only fight each other in top 5 now. But if those guys started fighting guys outside of top 10, they would fucking start murking those motherfuckers. I'm telling you, man. Those guys, Sarukians, Guram, Damir, Ismagulov, what else? Fiziev is now finally coming up. Those guys are fucking monsters. Those guys are not here to fuck around. They grew up in poverty. They didn't have food growing up. They didn't have the fucking shoes every fucking every other month. They're here to dominate, and they're good. They're very good. They're So if those top 5 guys start competing against those other guys that are outside of top 10 or top 5 even, there's gonna be some fucking trouble. There's gonna be fireworks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the Gaethje Fizev fight. Like I said, that
Yeah.
style. These guys are
Yeah,
not looking to wrestle.
exactly. You'll see what I mean when Fiziev smokes him. Because I mean, listen, I love JG. I love him. I love his fighting style. The first time when he fought Eddie Alvarez, I was like, I couldn't fucking believe it. It was one of the best, greatest fights I've ever seen. But Fiziev is just better. That's it.
George, what do you have to say on Fizev?
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously that fight is a banger. I'm looking forward to it. And I know that he was training with Roman um at in Phuket, Tiger Phuket, right?
In Phuket, yeah, Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand, right?
It's like Thailand. It's like Thailand, Los Angeles. It's like Thailand, California in there.
Yeah, and
Phuket.
it's
Like nice.
crazy because everyone is there, like I just try to imagine what it's like to be there as a fighter, like when you got guys from, everywhere that you're gonna fight or your teammate has fought, or yeah, it's just really interesting. But I think Fiziev does represent Azerbaijan now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
at the beginning, I remember he was representing Kyrgyzstan, if I'm correct, man. I think that's how
Because
it
he's
was.
from Kyrgyzstan, but then some
Uh,
political shit happened. I don't know. I don't want to get
I
into it because I don't know the details. So he decided to represent Azerbaijan instead now, which is whatever. Fine, it's good. Whatever works for him. I don't know what happened, so I can't give my opinion. But
yeah, and
listen, if Roman is in Phuket, isn't Petr Yan in Phuket too?
Yeah, they were there a long time. Yeah, same time. Yeah, and I think that Roman now is leaving or left or is about to leave because his fight is like a week away now. It's gonna be in London, and that's Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 2, man. And I doubt that headshot bang is gonna happen twice like the same way. So that fight is gonna be interesting, man. There's a lot of fights to look forward to, man. But for me, there's no other fight I'm looking more forward to than Merab versus Yan and Roman versus Marvin Vittori. For
Of
me,
course,
those are the
naturally.
ones. Yeah.
Naturally.
I agree. This is a really, really big month for Georgia. It's a tremendous month for the UFC. Each card, week after week, is absolutely stacked. And I'm really excited for March 11th, Merab versus Yan. Then we get the following week, we get to see Roman versus Marvin Vittori. And I can't wait to recap this with you guys. It's been really
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. This was real nice, man.
Yeah, no, this is nice. It feels good to be able. This feels like freedom, and I don't want to piss anybody off in Georgia here. I love doing this shit in Georgia. I do. The reason we started this was Georgia and the fighters from Georgia and the fans, but it's just so much easier to do it in English, man. It's fucking liberating.
Yeah, even for me, man. And that's true. But yeah, it's been real nice, like I said, and let's collab again soon, man.
We will, we will. Before I let you guys go, guys, remember to leave a like, follow, and subscribe if you enjoyed everything. I'm really happy to have Fight Hop Podcast get to be liberated and do a podcast in English. And I hope all the Georgian and all the fans around the world get to watch and bring more light to this sport.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
谢谢啊，再见。
Ah, this fucking guy again.